Okay. I'm gonna make a Kydex sheath for this one today. First we're gonna lay it out the size we need. Measure the widest point. For this knife it's about 1.5 inches. And I would add about 1.5 inches more to it so it can wrap around the knife. And also you have enough room to start your first rivets up here at this point. We'll mark it at, we'll make it 3¼ inches wide and by about 6. That'll be 3¼ and 6½. So first you have to protect the blade and with tape. So what that does is give you a little extra space so the blade won't scratch, and so you can pull it in and out of the sheath easily without any snags. So I know at the temperature that I heat my Kydex to and the press that I use and the foam that I use, I need 3 layers of blue tape on the blade and 1 layer of blue tape on the handle. No ripples in the tape. Get some bad ripples, get rid of it. You want to do it on a clean surface so you're not sticking grit to your knife blade. Next you got to cut the tape to match the front of the knife, straight on that knife, so a little diagonal. Then you carefully hold it to the tape and mark it. Don't have to be super accurate. Handle a lot easier. What I do is I stick it on the spine and just roll it around, smoothing the wrinkles out. I bake at 325 for 0.080 Kydex. Real tight. Nice definition. You can see his plunge. You can see where the bevel stops. You can see the edge. So, not too bad. They make the sheath too wide. They leave too much space between the edge or the perimeter of the knife and the perimeter of the sheath, and it really needs to be as small as possible. Real easy to make it too small, but if you made it too small, you're thinking the right idea. So just to get a thought of how much I need to leave, I'll stick a rivet on there, and I want about a 1/16 of an inch on each side. You just want it far enough to where it'll sit flat on the Kydex. So I'll just look at it and know what that looks like. And you know, you can mark a line if you want. I don't mark a line, I just know what it looks like. And that's just as big as the sheath is going to be. Okay. So a lot of people will also cut the Kydex with the knife still in there, drill the holes with the knife still in there. I don't want to risk ruining a knife with a grinder or with a sander or with a drill bit whatsoever. So I take it out. And my secret to still getting it done is super glue. I'll super glue it together temporarily. And how you do that without having exposed super glue is right at the tip, put a dot, insert the knife, and it'll kind of lock itself in. You grab it by the tip, stick a small spring clamp on there. Just let it sit for a moment and dry. Remove the knife, and then this little area right here, we'll do another dot of super glue. Hold it for a moment, let it dry. And here, we'll do another dot. So, together you can do whatever you want to. And if you don't want shiny edges, you stop around 400 grit. And you're not going to get it perfectly smooth and seamless coming straight off the machine. You gotta hand sand it. If you work it too much, you're gonna burn it up. Get them smooth, no catch points. Pop it apart. Alright. And you'll see you'll have burrs on the inside. And if you don't get those, you won't get a seamless look when you put your sheath together. You'll get a gap. You have to go in with a knife and just cut that away and come right off. You're not going to hurt the sheath. This is going to be fused together. This is a real important step. People know what they're looking at when they look at Kydex. Now you should be able to put it together and get no gap. Get it real clean. Whoop. You don't want any grit in there. That power of editing. Make sure you scrub the edges real good, because sometimes they'll get a little tiny burr on the inside from grinding the edges. Make sure you get all your pencil marks off. old drill bits so they fit a little tight. Get pretty flares, you gotta have perfect alignment, or else you're gonna mar them, crack them, or they're not gonna roll over nice. So this is what it looks like before. And I like to do it nice and slow so it just rolls over and doesn't crack. Nice clean flare. And that's what you want. That's it. Put it on low. You don't want to make bright shiny spots on the Kydex. Get a spread. Put a barbecue skewer in there. And I just form it on the back because it looks neater. You don't see it on the front. Gotta have a drain hole so you can wash it out. Nothing on the front. It looks nice, looks professional. And the knife won't get snagged on the corner of the Kydex entering it. This off the handle, but leave the blade protected. Make sure it doesn't have anything on it. First try, gotta click. No rattle. Yank it out, or you can take it off in one hand. That's what you want.